Welcome back to the Real Estate 401k show. It is Friday, and I'm your host, Mike Weinstein, alongside Justin Frederick and Ryan Gerdes. Each and every Friday, we give you the opportunity to text the word story to 623-AZ-RECON. This is our chance to share what we've been doing all week long to helping our podcast listeners and our show listeners build wealth in real estate, and this week is no different. Justin, I will go to you first, my man.
All right, so this one was a cool story. I didn't get any, well, I did get out of it, value. So I had a client that we pre-qualified in January. She was qualified for a fairly low amount, and she was looking at homes, and finally she found a property that was offering a VA assumable loan. So she put in an application with the servicer. The servicer ended up turning her down, and she ended up calling me. They were going to just move on. And she's like, Justin, I got turned down by the servicer. I just need to renew my pre-qualification. And I was like, well, what was the loan amount? And she told me what the loan amount was. And, I was a little perplexed because it's a VA loan, so there's no MI. And I asked her for the property address. She actually was able to give me a statement that was by the current owners. And so I was able to get the interest rate and taxes and really dive deep into it and got the HOA. And I'm like, well, Brenda, you should easily qualify for this property. Let me ask you some questions. And I'm like, anything change in income? Anything like that? And she's like, no. And I was like, did you tell him that you're also self-employed? And she said, no, they only asked me for W-2s. And I was like, well, you have a Schedule C income. It wasn't a big amount. And I was like, this is going to help you. But also, remember how I told you that you were going to need to pay off these small credit cards? And she's like, yeah, I pay them off every month. And I said, well, Brenda, it doesn't show up on their credit report when they're pulling it that it's a zero balance. When you pay it off every month, they still report at a certain time. So your minimum payments on, she had like 4 cards that are going to be higher. And when you're cutting things close, this debt to income ratio can hurt you. Did they tell you what your debt to income ratio? No. I said, okay, do me a favor. Call that servicer back. Tell them that you're going to pay these credit cards off at closing. Turn in your tax returns. It was only $100 extra a month in income. She got approved.
Oh, wow.
And so nice. She got a 3.625 interest rate.
Holy crap.
With our market rates, she was going to be looking at a rate in the high 5s for an FHA loan. She was going to be FHA. She's not a veteran. So she has a real huge opportunity, and she had the funds for the down payment. So this is an incredible service that I was able to help her with. And, I don't feel like I don't get paid on that. I could have easily written a pre-qualification and sent it out. I hope she sees, and I'm sure she does. I hope she sees what that does for her, you know? So I thought that was pretty cool.
Awesome.
Yeah. It was a good story.
Buddy. All right. Well, mine is not real estate related. I just wanted to give a big shout out. My son has been working his butt off at school and at his athletics, and I think I've probably mentioned before that he plays boys volleyball over at Sunny Slope High School. He's a junior over there, and so he made the regional team.
Yeah.
And so he's doing really really well, and he's in a very very competitive position, which is outside hitter. And the dude has just been really, really blossoming with that. And so if any of you are interested, I will send you a video of him tattooing this other kid in the face.
I'm interested. Sign me up. What's the text? What do I text?
Yeah, text tattoo to 623.
I'm never playing volleyball with Mickey again. No. That hurt like hell, man.
And so they made playoffs, and so we're going to see how that goes. But no matter what happens, they had just an incredible season. It's been fun watching them, fun watching him develop his leadership and his teamwork skills and just being an overall good dude, and it's fun to watch him grow up. And so that's been my proud
Proud dad moment. I
That's
love
right.
it. I love
That's
it.
right. Yeah. And they did have a game last week over against Desert Vista, and before they went out, it was senior night, and so half the seniors were talking all this smack about how their favorite memory is going to another senior night and beating them on an away game, and we went over there and swept them in 3. So
that's
on their
awesome.
senior night. So ha ha ha.
Alrighty. Well, mine's a win for us. Is we always talk about investing, and I think by now our listeners know that we are investors ourselves. But we talk so much about helping investors and strategies and what's going on in the market, and people just need to understand that Ryan and I we are constantly on the hunt ourselves. And sometimes Ryan and I just don't necessarily, have the wherewithal. We can't jump and we can't pounce on every single opportunity. So we got this opportunity last week. At the end of the day, house is in good shape, is worth about $320,000. The seller, they need cash. We begged them, just begged them. Let's put it on the market. Do not walk away from all of this money. And they're just they're in a hurry. They got to get out to San Antonio, and whatever the case is. So they took our cash offer for $234. But I had for 2 days just been kind of reaching out to some of our investors and saying, hey, anybody got a HELOC, and whatever the case is, and everybody was just kind of, yeah, let me look into it. Yeah, excited about it. But nobody was jumping on it, so I told Ron, I go, well, let's do it. Let's just do it. So we got that thing locked up and picked it up for $234. Like I said, we were $320 in this market. May have to drop down to $310. Need some carpet, some paint. Big old frickin' ficus tree, man, that needs some attention. Like normally I try to ignore the trees and go, we can get away with it. Not this one. And so the point of the matter is, when you text the word story to 623AZ Recon, you are working with people that this is what we do for a living. We're always looking for opportunities, and we have opportunities for our experienced investors that have trusted us and have done some business with us and would love to get you in that game. And again, all you got to do is text the word story to 623AZ Recon. All right, it is Friday. It seems like it's always my week because you guys can't think of anything creative because you guys try to move on beyond food. That's the problem.
I mean, there's so much food options.
Exactly. So it's getting warmer. Summer is quickly approaching. And where is your favorite place for ice cream, Ryan?
All right. So this has to do with nostalgia, okay? Because Mary Coyle's ice cream shop it's good ice cream. I'm not saying it isn't. I mean, my wife's first job was there. We used to go there all the time after school or after practice growing up as
Never
kids.
heard of it.
No?
No.
Well, so it's the building. is now La Piñata. They moved, and so it was a full-on restaurant, and but mostly everyone went there for ice cream, and it's totally local to the Phoenix area, and it was just kind of one of those good old-fashioned, kind of like whatever the Peach Pit and whatever that show was at Saved by the Bell. That's kind of what it felt like. You just went in there and you hung out with friends and had ice cream, and so yeah, that was probably it. Now they've moved over into a smaller area off of a strip mall, not too far off of 7th and, Bethany or something like that. But it used to be over there off of Maryland and 7th. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I need to go check that out.
Yeah.
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 I'm a huge ice cream fan.
But it has to be within a mile of your
Well,
house.
so actually, I'm a huge ice cream fan. So normally, it'd be the Cold Stone, of course, but I actually like Churn, and you would know where it's at, but it's like I think it's 7th Street area.
Yeah.
And I think it's like it's right across.
Camelback, right?
It's right across from like the not yard.
Postinos and whatnot.
Yeah, Postinos.
Yeah,
Where's that
In
at?
the Windsor. Yeah. I think that is between Indian School and Camelback.
Yeah, but Churn. That place is incredible. My kids will sit in the car for longer than 5 minutes to go there. Anytime we go to like the Phoenix Zoo, we'll come back that way. Or if we're downtown, we'll go there. Great little small little place, but unbelievable ice cream.
Yeah.
Unbelievable ice cream. So that's my place.
Have you guys ever heard of Brewster's?
Yeah.
They just opened one up by my house, but that's not what I'm going with. But it's
a good place.
It just felt like as a public service announcement, I should let people know that.
Fair.
I live at Tatum and Bell. So mine, growing up, I lived right around the corner, like a 7-minute walk to a drugstore called Thrifty's, which really is Rite Aid. Most people know it as Rite Aid. And Thrifty's ice cream, at least for me in Southern California, it's the best. And so they have this flavor.
Oh, so we're not doing local.
Would you shut up and let me get to the point?
Okay.
Dude, why you got to
All
cut
right.
me off, dude?
No, I'm asking.
Yeah, we're doing local, but if you'd let me finish.
All right.
And so they had this flavor. It was called malted crunch, double malted crunch. And man, we would dig through the couches, dude. A quarter in my day would get you a double.
That tells you how old
Right.
he is.
Yeah.
A quarter.
Yeah.
So if you can find here in Phoenix a water and ice store, a place where you go and buy ice or you fill up your jugs of water, most of them carry Thrifty's ice cream.
That's true.
And it's just a weakness, man. If I drive by one, dude, it could be 32 degrees and snowing, but if I see a water and ice store and it's got that Thrifty's sign in the window, I'm getting some
You're
malted
there.
crunch. Yeah.
Nice.
So what's in the multi-crunch?
Malt and crunch.
Okay.
Multiple crunches.
I don't know. I don't even know what's in vanilla ice cream. So, okay, here's a debate, a fight our entire family got into. We had a birthday celebration a couple weeks ago, and my mom, as you guys know, because you know her so well,
Georgia.
she always brings over chocolate cake. She makes an incredible chocolate cake. And so Mindy's job, my wife's job, was to go get the vanilla ice cream. And she came back with French vanilla. We're like, no. No, you got to have
Really?
regular vanilla ice cream if you're going to have a chocolate cake or a brownie. Yeah, French vanilla, what is that?
French vanilla is good with chocolate, I think, too. But my parents used to do the vanilla bean, and I was like, I feel like that's ruining anything.
I don't know. I mean, the only real difference is, between soft serve and the stuff that comes out of the carton or
Tub?
whatever, the tub. Yeah. But then, I mean, they all have different flavors and different richnesses and
Yeah.
whatnot.
Right.
I mean, we're normally just getting, whenever we need vanilla ice cream, we just get it from Costco.
Okay.
All right, push come to shove, Ryan, favorite flavor of ice cream.
So
And you can't go, I got two.
because I always go get the gelato out of the freezer section, and they have that double
Swirl?
Malted crunch.
yeah,
and
the
I don't know
double
what's in it.
swirl.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I always get over there. That or mint chocolate chip, but that's the second.
Okay. Justin?
Peanut butter chocolate. Chocolate peanut butter.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Ooh.
You know, one of my first jobs I ever had in high school, I was the Baskin Robbins.
Really? So I worked at, Swenson's. You remember Swenson's?
Yeah, I
remember
remember
Swenson.
Swenson.
Yeah.
Dude, remember they had that big, huge thing that you
Yeah,
could get?
it was the earthquake.
Yeah, and
It
so
was
like
huge. It was
soccer-
32 scoops of ice cream.
Our
or something
soccer
like that.
team would go there after
Yeah.
a game and get one of those, and we'd all have to split.
It was only like $10.
I
too.
know.
It'd be like $70 today.
But it's all
right?
by the time you get to the bottom and everything's mixed together, it's
Yeah.
like a soup.
My favorite flavor, all day long, if I could only just, if I had an option for my last scoop of ice cream on the face of the planet, coffee ice cream. Love it.
Well, the best ice cream you can only get during wintertime, and that's peppermint, in my opinion. But you can only get it a couple months out of the year, so it's like, all right. And I probably ice cream 3 or 4 times a year.
What's wrong with you?
I know.
I eat ice cream 3 or 4 times a week.
No.
That's why my guts are all messed
All
up.
right. Well, if you're still listening, we appreciate. We appreciate
We
you
appreciate
hanging
you.
out
Yeah, right.
this long into our madness. But we'd love for you to be part of our story, and we'd love to help you build wealth in real estate. All you got to do is text the word "story" to 623-8 AZ Recon. That's story to 623 AZ Recon.